Hello everyone, welcome to the Dev Fireside chat. My name is Matthew. I am joined by Howard and Mikko today. Eric is working on the skirmish update and some more stuff for Alliance. You're going to see the little mute symbol on Howard because he is at a cafe, so there's a little bit of background noise, but it should be good to go. He'll just unmute when he has things to say, so he'll be unmuted probably most of the time once we get rolling here. So as always, ask us questions as we go through. We're going to talk a little bit about the week, about what we've been working on, and everything Alliance. So I guess to start off with, how's Alliance been in the office? Howard, how's the release week?
That means I have to speak, so you guys can get to hear the cafe background music. It's been good. I mean, we identified, the feedback's been great, and a lot of the issues echo kind of what we found when we were testing during the PAX week. So, it's really about finding solutions to all these problems that we're working on.
Yep, and as people are saying, yay, skirmish update. Yeah, it's going to be great, actually, this time. We've got a bunch of new achievements involving, working with novices and accepting loadouts, and just a bunch of great things of, hey, we should all work together, be social, and there's just a bunch of new titles in there. So instead of just having underdog titles, you have new ways to get it, so you don't have to try to find a way to be unbalanced in our game. Also, Howard, you look good this week apparently, so congrats. Apparently you've gotten over your PAX.
I've gotten over my PAX, and I also have better lighting in the cafe. So,
You see, that's why Howard's at the cafe, just better lighting. You have to get in there.
Apparently Mikko's having better lighting too. He's he probably shines a spotlight on himself.
It's the diffused lighting from the weather, It's perfect.
But also, yes, in the skirmish update, as someone said, the vet games, which we're really happy to put in. It should... these vet games will unlock when there are enough players in-game and enough high-level players, so you can search and just get high-level players in your game, on your team, and against your team is the goal. So this is a higher-level game. It's going to be a lot tougher. It's going to be pretty vicious, actually, so we're really excited to see you guys take it as seriously as you can. I mean, there'll be no more people to teach. Everyone in there is going to be experienced and ready to fight. But with that, a big update, because people are asking in email and I want to cover it here. I will be sending out an email later today for anyone who's reached out to us over email for the humble pre-order of Alliance and they want to get in. So in roughly an hour, it will be the cutoff for those emails. So if you pre-ordered on Humble and you like working with us, you want to get in on a very prototype, very basic version, a very unfinished version of Alliance, now's the time to send in the email, because in an hour that's going to be the cutoff for this week, and then an hour after that you'll get an email giving you the code, giving you another explanation of this is prototype, there's a lot of work that has to be done, and we're definitely happy to show it off and get feedback, but it's definitely not this is the finished product kind of thing. So definitely we want everyone who wants to give in feedback, we want all you guys in here. We just also want to make sure the expectations are correct, so you're not coming in being like, well, it's not finished yet. Well, yeah, we know, and we're happy to get it finished, and we definitely want input to get it finished in a better way, because the feedback we got before, as Howard said, echoed what we thought. You guys are getting really good at giving feedback. It makes me really happy. I feel like everyone's improved. They're very constructive. I don't care if you hate it. You can hate Alliance mode or skirmish mode, as long as you say, and here's why, here's what I dislike, here's ways I think it could be made better. Just all this great feedback, that is perfect for us. We love it. By the way,
yeah, so far in a lot of the feedback that we get, we have, we see some, we ask people, how fun do they think, Alliance, some game modes are. We get some totally fun, very fun. We also got quite a few, somewhat fun, it's so fun. But at least we haven't gotten a lot of these, not very fun or totally not fun ones. So it's okay. All right. So I guess we're heading in the right direction, right?
And for the email for the Humble pre-orders, it's feedback@musegames.com. That's how you can reach us anywhere. We do have a couple emails floating around for different things, but if you send it to feedback, it'll hit the most people, and I'll always make sure, or Mikko will always make sure, or Howard will always make sure it goes to the right place. So have no fear. Feedback@musegames.com, and we'll take care of everything. That is our shtick. As Krusty Skunk said, someone was having issues with crashes and FPS drops, and they put in a launch option to change that. We were trying DirectX 11. in Alliance mode, but there were some issues, so there's a code to force it back to DirectX 9. So it's not a fix, as Evo said, it's a workaround for it, but, you know, if you are having issues, send it in, we'll do our best to get you fixed up.
Yeah, as it turned out, a lot of the crash problems were because of DirectX 11, so, you know, I mean, at least we know what's causing it, which is good. I think just doing a lot of these early testings, you know, it's great. So we can actually flush out a lot of this stuff, and you know, for people who gave us like frame rate reports, and you know, we can also look up logs and find out, you know, what your hardware is. So like, you know, if you guys report it, especially via email, about crashes and frame related problems, great. It's awesome. It's actually what we need. It's better than finding this out after we release, right? So, which is what we did last time.
Find out after release and a couple negative reviews being like, oh, I really wish they would have told us, and we 100% want to fix that. By the way, I can't form crews in Alliance, neither can I make custom games. You should be able to. I guess, yeah, tell me what you're seeing in there, and we'll figure out what weird logic thing's happening. Question, if you choose one group on Alliance and get the special stuff they have, are you unable to get stuff from other factions? I believe Eric was talking about this. This is definitely not in stone, so take it with a grain of salt. But you can like finish up one faction and then sort of betray them with the technology you have and go to another faction. Was the last I heard. If you want to confirm, Howard.
Actually, I need to check with Eric. There will be some penalty for you to leave a faction, obviously. But when you when you lose all the faction stuff, I think you'll lose. I'll need to check with Eric, but I think you'll lose some stuff, but not all of it. Something like that. Yeah, I think I'll reserve this and let Eric speak more. And in fact, we're on the way. Like, if one is designing the UI for some of this, and hopefully, like in the next major test update, we can actually build this in.
And then, will you consider changing enemy distributions in Alliance? Less weapons, or less hordes and more beefy ships? Actually, that was a lot of feedback we got from players. And
yes. I mean, I had an argument. I don't know who's asking the question.
Omniraptor.
I don't know if I had a debate with Omniraptor, but I had a debate with Shane and a few others. Yeah, it's something that we're actually looking at. I mean, just know that this is not PvP, right? So it's not going to be like, oh, 2 enemies on screen, because some of the game modes, it's actually less conducive. I mean, if you have a few enemies and they're all really hard to beat, and given that, like, we also built in logic for them to fight and take cover if, like, if the damage they gets like more severe, we're actually building a lot of like logic for them to like actually kind of dogfight you, right? Like, well, not dogfight, but at least circle you and whatever, have some tactic and then fighting. We for a while we were experimenting. We made that like really good, and there were enemies so hard to kill. Individually, that's fine, but then when we want to have like say 2 or 3 enemies even on you, then it becomes incredibly actually really difficult, especially given that you're playing retrieve, and retrieve is it's really more it's a time sensitive game mode. So it actually caused a lot of frustration. So I mean, I think it's a balance we want to strike, right? I mean, if right now the enemies are too many, we're looking at like maybe reducing it. But I mean, don't expect PvP. This is a new game. We're not really making it with a PvP mindset in mind. It won't be PvP because I mean, if you want to play PvP and have only like 2 or 3 ships to fight, there's PvP already. So it's kind of pointless for us to actually remake PvP. So like it's a different version of the game. So I think the mode of thinking will have to be different. It will be larger engagements compared to PvP. There will be more ships. There will be more planes. There will be bosses. There will be bases. It will be more chaotic. The engagements will be larger. and obviously there's issues that come with it, right? Such as like, maybe visual feedback, how do we make things clear and whatnot. But I mean, it is going to be larger confrontations, and that's just how PvE is going to be. So I just want to caution people that we are looking at reducing like some of the enemies and like trying to strike a better balance, definitely. But then we'll need to reach a happy medium, and that happy medium won't be like PvP level scan, because otherwise it won't be fun either.
Yeah, and then so someone was saying about there was an issue for the custom game modes that they were seeing that they were going to skirmish ones. Try restarting it or resetting the fact that if you go in there and click on Alliance and on and off. So hopefully that'll work. If not, send in an email to feedback@musegames.com with your log, and we'll check that out. As for how do we think the population of Alliance mode is going to affect the PvP mode during release and all that stuff, as we said before, we're actually super excited because it's a new chance to get featured by Steam. It's a new chance to bring in PvE players. It's a different game, as Howard said. We're not remaking PvP with AI opponents. We're making a new game.
Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully, there'll be some players who are traditionally not into guns or not into PvP games, which we actually get a lot of, right? You see some of our Facebook comments, or even journalists. They're like, it looks cool, but we're just not really into PvP. So hopefully it'll be another way to bring people into the game. And at least the way we construct it is really the same game. There may be times where I think there's definitely possibilities of or times where, somebody will be like, I want to play PvE today, and I don't want to play PvP. In that sense, it will likely take players away from PvP. But then it's really still the same game, it's the same mainstream, same chat system, same social system. So hopefully there'll be commonalities. It's the same inventory, so hopefully there'll be like commonalities between the two versions of the game, where people are still kind of in the game. Yeah. That's our hope anyway.
Well, and the biggest thing, there's a lot of data as well. This is something I checked out because this is my worry as community director. What is our player base going to look like? Are we splitting them? Is there going to be this danger? But the biggest in games, the biggest time you have the largest player base isn't free weekends. It isn't massive sales. It's not YouTubers. It's expansions. That's when you get the most players, because you get new players who see the new featuring, and you get old players who say, oh, I like that game during the day, and now there's a bunch of new content. So we want to ride that as well, and as Howard said, we have all the systems in place to keep everyone communicating and not split up the community too much, is the hope.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully if we do this right, it's like, okay, fine, after really adrenaline pumping PvP matches, where like, you get to, say for instance, take me for example, like, I just either got shot down by Nat or just killed Mikko again, whatever. It's like, I can basically hop in. We can actually hop into PvE and play matches. So I don't know. I mean, I think hopefully it'll be a good thing. It won't be a bad thing.
And then 3MCR is saying, I have about 140 FPS in Battlefield 3 max graphics and Alliance that ranges from 20 to 60. Yeah, it is not optimized. We'll never say the prototype that you are playing right now is the finished product for optimization. There's a lot of work we need to do. We want to make things a lot smoother for players. Right now, it's just, is it fun? Are there any like major bugs, like planes, not exploding or things like that, or crashing into walls just randomly? Also, by the way,
I mean, when we just keep in mind that when we started, we can't even run like I can barely run 15. So I mean, not for
you can barely run 15 frames before crashing, Howard.
yeah. No, not for Alliance. I mean, like for skirmish. I mean, I had like problem because my old laptop was our Mac mid-spec machine. Yeah, I could barely run like 10-15 frames to start, but then later on I got to like about 30. So yeah, it took us a while, but I think our starting point for Alliance is already better than our starting point for skirmish. So I will say that.
By the way, this is important. Ramming does too little damage in Alliance. Actually, the big reason for that is the hitboxes of balloons, which are not obvious and sometimes confusing. It's sort of like if you ram a Junker's balloon, it won't actually damage the Junker that much, kind of thing. So definitely keep an eye on that. We're going to be, making everything a little smoother there as well. So keep trying your rams. Let us know how they feel. If they're not feeling good enough, we can also make some adjustments there later, kind of thing. But just know that sometimes it's a hitbox issue right now.
Right. But ramming planes right now is pretty effective.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You kind of demolish through them.
Poor guys.
And then Broski47 says, after playing Guns, I have total faith in this developer. Thank you. We always love hearing that. We are trying to do our best for you guys. We love gamers. We are gamers, and we like knowing that we've done a good enough job that we have faith for the next one, because that's our big thing. If we can keep making games and you guys are still keep enjoying them, then this is the perfect situation. Let's see if there's any. How do I get a copy of Alliance? I need 6 to 10 copies for my friends. All right, so on Humble right now there is the Alliance pre-order. If you pre-order there and you send me an email within the next or an hour after the Fireside ends, so you have an hour and 40 minutes, I will get you into the next batch for the Alliance testing this weekend, and then you'll have the prototype for every testing we do. If you do not get it to me in the next hour after this ends, you'll be in the one afterwards, kind of thing. So if you need 6 to 10 now, go ahead, go to humblebundle.com, go to the Alliance thing. I'll grab the store code for you, or if Evo's super nice and in the background listening, he can grab it. Purchase it, send me the receipts, and I'll send you prototype codes. And because I'm putting together the next batch of prototype codes. Alright, question, how nitpicky can we be about suggestions for ships and maps? Because there's the thing on the Crusader that bugs me, but it's small. Yeah, you can be 100% nitpicky. I saw your one about the book sizes on the Crusader. The Crusader is definitely gonna get some touches here and there. But yeah, be nitpicky. Don't let us don't let us get away with anything. Just send us an email, say, I don't like the size of the books on the Crusader, or the ship moves a little too fast, or this gun's drop is a little bit too much. We want feedback. All feedback, good, bad, in between.
Yeah, all that information helps a lot. So.
Yeah. Have we talked about blind pick yet? No, we haven't. We haven't made any distance since last week because we've been working on Alliance mode. In the next skirmish update, going through all 159 ideas you guys put in, kind of thing. So we do not have anything on blind pick this week, but we definitely will keep thinking about it. We have a card on it in Trello, which is the way we organize every thought and idea that's ever had. So it's in there, and we'll definitely look at it and try to figure out if there's better ways to make sure you still can counter opponents without feeling like every last second is just someone trying to sneak in that last counter thing. Urzi says, I suspect people will burn out of Alliance pretty quickly, at least in its current state of games don't seem dynamic enough to be replayed over many times, so if Alliance will bring in a bunch of new people to Guns of Icarus who get bored of Alliance and switch to Skirmish. That's definitely possible. We'll be doing our best to make it enough game modes and enough difference inside each match that people want to keep replaying, that there's progression and that there's events.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now there are a few, there's some things that I think are good. One is that really, you're not really playing the same match twice just because of how the director operates and spawns enemies and so on. Tactically, I guess right now, there's certain tactics that work that you can basically have it be effectively live over and over again, and that's going to change. If you think Squid is OP right now, that's not going to happen in the future. So hopefully there will be more nuance, or at least more tactical alternatives from match to match when you're playing Alliance. And also there will be more game modes. There will be more maps as well. And what you don't see right now is progression. There's no progression, and that will need to roll in the future. So I think all of that will help replay. But I don't know. I mean, I think before this weekend, it takes people a while to kind of find the dominant strategy to exploit which is actually what we want. But like I see people playing, say playing the game modes over, playing different difficulties, and trying different ship builds and whatnot. And I think that's great. So I wouldn't say like, oh, it's not really replayable, but there's a lot more we can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still prototypes, though.
Mm-hmm. All right, and I feel a sneeze coming on, just to warn people before I have a really loud sneeze. But as someone's saying, my main grab as Alliance is for the get the balloons and drag them to the base map. It seems to me that killing AI is pointless, and it's better to deserve the objective than hand it in. Yeah, that was some feedback we got, both on the defense map, which is the one you're talking about, and Assault, which is just charged through killing bases. And the biggest issue was, I should just Zerg. I should just take it, complete objectives, done, kind of thing.
Well,
so.
First of all, like on Assault, the reason why you can Zerg is actually a bug. That won't happen. And for defense, yeah, I mean, actually, like taking 2 squids, I found, say for instance, if you're playing Hell mode, taking 2 squids is actually not as effective as taking a ship that can disable while you take a squid and run. Like when you do that, it's actually easy to beat. But the good thing is that we also know that, so we'll do something about it.
Yeah. As someone said, what about a blind pick for vet games? Definitely interesting. I'll add that to the card, and it's something we can definitely consider and look at. I mean, there's definitely a lot of ways we can go with it. Big thing's making sure we...
I mean, basically, I think what I'm interested in is like, so for instance, when you play it on normal, you're supposed to be able to beat it pretty reliably, right? But when you play in a hard or hell mode, yeah, I would love it so that you guys can tell me how you're beating it. I mean, other than squid, 2 squid with some like disabler, like that I already know. It doesn't interest me. What I do want to know is like, if you can take some other ships, some of the ship combinations, some of the weapon combinations, to try to beat the game mode and beat it reliably. That's actually what I want to know. Because I mean, with the squid, like we already know that. So like that's something that we can tackle like I would say pretty readily. But like what I want to know, like what I would love for you guys to do is just just keep playing. I mean, not that I'm encouraging replay like this way, but I do want to have you guys keep playing and tell me. So, for example, if you take 2 Mobulas or take a Spire Mobula, take Galleons, whatever. If you can find reliable ways to beat the game on how hard, because if you can't, well, like I guess hopefully you guys can beat it at all, and if you can, great, we'll know and we will know what to do. If you can't, that might be a problem. It may or may not be a problem. But that's actually kind of what we want to test right now, is if there are these dominant strategies. So far, like squid, having squids is a pretty dominant strategy. But the good thing is that we know that, and fixing it is we'll make life hell for squids.
And then someone's asking, can we see an improvement on the server quality? So we haven't been having any reports of server issues. If you are, the most likely candidate is a conflicting program or a problem with your DNS or your ISP. Send us an email. We'll check out if it's something that's an issue between your connection to our servers. We'll get it fixed. If it's an issue with our servers in general, we'd love to know it and get it fixed up. So if you are having issues, feedback@musegames.com. We check out every email, and we want to make sure you guys are not suffering from issues we don't know about, kind of thing.
Oh, I mean, make life hell for squids on hell, which is how it's supposed to be.
Fair enough. So someone is asking, will we ever see a combination of PvP and PvE? So each side like has a base and is trying to destroy the other person's base, and there's allied ships and stuff.
Oh yeah, possibly. I think what's cool is that like we've built a few of these core these mechanics that we found to be interesting. So yeah, conceivably we could bring some of it back to PvP. I think the good thing is just that now we actually have some of the tools to do that. But PvE, I think the priority is obviously still PvE first.
Yeah. I was playing last week, and there was a Gatling gun on the heavy gun slot of the Magnate. Is that supposed to happen? It is not. We fixed up there were some slot issues on some of the newer ships that were being tested out. As always, if you spot something weird like that, send in an email about it. So it should be fixed for this week, I believe. If not, we'll just send in an email to make sure to remind us, and we'll keep making sure that we're not randomly doing things like that. How did you guys come about the Boca group? Was it an idea from Muse, whose members were handpicked, or was it an idea put forward which you endorse? Additionally, how do you feel about it working so far? So I'm going to say something on this, so that I'll let Mikko say something on this as well, because I know he's biting at the bit over there. So the Boca group, they're all players that we've known for a long time and talked to. A lot of them are CAs or mods that we've known before. And a big part of it was players who were interested in doing something like this. And we always want to do our best for competitive events to make sure we're giving the tools to the players, because players make the best events. They put in so many hours and so much work, and they make great events. So when these players that we've worked with before said we want to work together and create events, I personally was like, yes, 100% yes. And here are my stipulations for our support, and here's what we've learned from before, from other people who tried it, and from ourselves trying it. And we want 100% help in any way we can. How do I feel about it working so far? I think it's done amazing, and especially because it's made mistakes. And I think it's really important for these groups to make mistakes, so they can say that they've made mistakes. Because the worst thing is when someone goes onto a forum, says something wrong, and doesn't say, "I said something wrong, I'm sorry." Because I mean, we're gonna make mistakes. Everyone's learning how to do things. No one's sitting here saying, yeah, no, I ran the International for Dota, and now I'm ready to run the Guns of Icarus one. I have 100% experience, and I'm perfect at these things, kind of thing. So if they keep working on this level, and I get to see every email they send out from the competitive at Muse Games, and I love the way that they handle themselves. They really respect not only us, which I love, but also the community, which I think is even more important. They're 100% here because they just want more competitive events, and they just want to offer tools. They don't want to boss people around or take control. They just want more competitive events, and so we're completely on board.
Yeah, it's pretty much, you nailed it on the head. So, but we have been working with them on literally a day-by-day basis. And
yeah,
we do keep track of all the correspondence coming in, and we do keep pretty like super active communication with them if they have questions, or if we have questions, and they're really quick about it. So it's just a growing process. We start small, and eventually, hopefully, we can get into something more substantial. We'll see. So
yeah. As always, though, if you have advice from them, if you send it competitive@musegames.com, we get to see it as well. If you have ideas about how you want it to be handled, if you want to talk just to me or just to Mikko or any one of us about it as well, we 100% want to listen. Like we're all in this together. They're just people who want to put in free work to make the community better, and we want to support that. Like, if you want to put in free work to make the community better as well, come on board, and we'll find something for you to do. We'll find ways for you to help out. Like, we're only here because our players are so amazing, kind of thing. So we definitely, we'll take advantage of anything you guys want to do.
Definitely.
Are there any plans to modify the 2 co-op ships for Skirmish? Is there any content planned for Skirmish in the near future? So the 2 co-op ships, right now we're focusing on PvE for them. So we're gonna make sure they work there, and then we'll focus on getting all the other PvE stuff out, and then we can look at what stuff we want to bring back and what stuff we can balance. Don't expect them anytime soon is the big thing. As far as content planned for Skirmish in the near future, there is a map being tested tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. For Skirmish mode. It is Periton Rumble, which you guys told us was one of your favorites. We're making it a 3v3, so we're expanding it and doing some things. It's pretty intensive, so we need to test it out. Like, if this doesn't get tested, this doesn't go in the game, because there's a possibility that it's too much for some lower-end computers. So we really need to make sure it's working, and not, like, we don't put it in and people are like, well, now the game's unplayable, and you've ruined it, kind of thing.
Yeah, we're very thorough about that, making sure that works.
I'm not sure that ship movement is fast enough to have players both attacking and defending that kind of PvP mode. It would be hard to design. I definitely agree, that combining PvE and PvP elements would be hard. It's, as we said, we're going to focus on the PvE stuff first, and once we get that done, we can say, all right, are there any ways we can bring this back to a PvP kind of game mode? Is there any way it's going to be fun? Like, we're definitely not going to say, oh, it's a cool idea, throw it together and put it in the game kind of thing. How are the loadouts for enemy AI ships determined? So there are a couple loadouts that we set for them, and the AI just kind of have playing cards, and they choose batches based on the tension of the map. For different factions, do have slightly different loadouts. So.
Yeah, by faction and basically by kind of the mode engagement. The brawlier AI will have certain builds. The longer range AIs will have different builds, and obviously their ships are different, have different silhouettes, and so the bosses. So it's based on like the range of engagement, how they engage you, and some by faction.
Question to devs: are the figureheads supposed to give the PR an extended RAM range? If not, it's something you need to look at. Send us an email to feedback@musegames about that. That shouldn't do that. There is no collision on the figureheads, so there's no collision for you to walk on. There's no collision for the other ships.
Yeah.
If that's happening, I would assume it's more of a visual thing. We'll definitely check it out though. Send an email to make sure, because I might forget between closing this down the stream and writing things down. I try to write it down as I go, but I like having the email there, because then it's just 100%, okay, deal with this right here kind of thing.
And then all of us see it too, so
yeah,
in response to it wherever.
That way, even if I forget, Mikko can yell at me about it. So. My last question about Bokeh is, why is there any need for anonymity? It's clear that you don't mind having the names out there by the apology post, and the people openly say they're involved. So why is there a need for agent accounts? It makes me lose a little trust in what you post. So there's a couple reasons in this. The first is hooded figures are cool. That's not actually true. I like the idea of them, but the real reason is the biggest problem with competitive organizing is stress. You can ask a lot of people who have competitively organized. There's a lot of stress that's involved, especially when it's your idea. It's your baby. It's like, listen, I put in 40 hours of work on trying to get this tournament to work, and someone comes in here and says I don't like it. And people tend to take that personally, especially when there's a face attached to it. And there's a really high level of burnout. So let's say Puppy Fur, who's part of Bokeh, put in 40 hours of work into a tournament, and someone said I don't like it. But sometimes it can feel like it's saying I don't like you, and then it gets into a fight, and there's all this stress. And we found it. Our hope is that by having the behind an agent name, it doesn't feel like the person doesn't feel attacked personally. Like, I don't care if you, or I do care, but it's not as important if you attack Bokeh. If you feel like Bokeh's doing a bad job, that's super important to know. And it's not, Puppy's doing a bad job, or Kitty Cat's doing a bad job, or they're bad people. It's Bokeh's doing a bad job handling things, and Bokeh needs to improve. Sort of like Muse Games. If Guns of Icarus goes bad, it's not Howard is doing a bad job, Mikko's doing a bad job, Eric's doing a bad job. It's Muse Games is doing a bad job, and we need to collectively, work better at doing it. And
you're talking
it will be, but actually, the analogy is not exactly totally one-to-one, because if Guns not doing, if there's something wrong with it, yeah, it is. You could say that I am not doing a bad job, personally.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing. So if a small thing, like if in Guns, there was something wrong with a ship, you could say, Howard isn't doing a good job at managing the ships getting out or something, but that's not what people would say. We kind of hide behind, personally, our own Muse Games isn't doing something right. Muse Games needs to do better.
I'll totally find something to play.
Yeah. And another big thing about them being anonymous is if Puppy Fur leaves and they get a new member, you don't have to learn to trust that member. That member's been vetted by the other members of Bokeh. So it's just another Bokeh member. If you trust Bokeh, then Bokeh events are great. If you don't trust Bokeh, then Bokeh needs to work better to be trusted by you, kind of thing. It's a big way, because we're going to have players come and go. I mean, we love that people put in 2,000 hours, and we after those hours, we're not like, oh, well, you're leaving us? How dare you? There's no other games on Steam. You should only be playing Guns 24/7. So it's 100%, we want to be able to switch in and out members of Bokeh and not have people learn to trust again, I guess is the thing. If you trust Bokeh, then you trust Bokeh, kind of thing. Mm. But as we said, it's definitely going to be a learning process, both for them and for us. We're still trying to get the competitive thing right. There's been amazing events, and there are things I think we've done really well. I also think there's things that we can do better. I think Bokeh is going to be a great step in doing those things better. having a lot more organization for more events to happen, for streamers to get in touch with the people they want to do, to make sure we've got refs for events, so there's no waiting around for teams, because I mean that's the most frustrating thing for me, when there are people who want to play the game and they have to wait around for the event to start, or there's some organizational mishap, just because it's a lot of work to run these events. Like, they just need a lot of people, kind of thing. And as always, we definitely want your help. You guys, I mean, you're here watching us talk about Guns of Icarus, so you guys are going to be some of the biggest users of Boca events and non-Boca events, and if there's things you want to see the group do, if there's things you want to see the competitive scene in general do, talk to us. We're 100%, we just want to do everything we can. Let's see. Do you have a color blocking setting? If not, will you implement that? It is on our accepted pile. So we want to do it. It's not going to be like in the next patch though. When Muse does a bad job, we always blame Eric anyways. Fair enough. Poor Eric.
Phew. Yeah, I'm glad it's Eric.
It's only Howard's fault when the captain on your ship does bad. But apparently it's my fault when your captain burns moonshine often. I will admit, I am a moonshine abuser. I feel really sorry for anyone who engineers on my ships. Because I put so much effort. Make an account that is clear, the collective for the group, rather than the roleplay agent nonsense. Bureau of Competitive Affairs is more tolerable than Agent Hufflepuff. Yeah, I'll definitely bring that up with them. We were just trying to find some ways to make it faceless. We can definitely, so people can kind of have their anonymity, but that's a good way to do it too. And probably it might be a little smoother. So I'll talk to them. I've got Steam contacts up with them right now. We've got a group, and as Mikko said, we talk every day. So. Maps, or even dynamic day-night map. You can even add night goggles and enhance the explosions. I think we've got some darker maps already.
Yeah, to do a nighttime map, yeah, that's absolutely being considered. And I guess I don't know when that's going to happen, but like that's definitely something that we've looked at, we want to do. Basically, having time of day effect is something that we decided not to, just because one is for aesthetics reasons. And I think, I don't know, I mean, a match usually lasts like, what, 15, at most 20 minutes. Even for competitive match, it could last like half an hour. For us to have time of day effect is probably not that practical, to be honest. It's like, you know, like, you're playing a 10-minute match and all of a sudden, you know, the day and night cycle through. I don't know if that is actually going to work well. But nighttime map would definitely consider.
When are we going to fix the balloon physics? Like how a balloon starts to deflate, the balloon sags downwards and not upwards like it really would.
Well, the fabric might be heavier. I'll explain it that way.
But by that reasoning, the ship would not rise at all after the balloon is slightly damaged.
Yeah, but we're also looking at a game where the ships slow down when they fall down, too. I mean, the ship can actually shoot down faster than the actual descent of the ship, so we have to take into account.
We really do we have a card in our Trello about how the balloon deflates incorrectly? Because I feel like it's been brought up enough that.
I think it's really
I think it's fair assessment, but still, you know.
What people don't realize is that there is every captain brings a talisman, like they wear a talisman of magic.
Are we really gonna space magic the answer here?
Hey man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say to that.
I know what to say. We'll check it out. It definitely should be something we talk about. My worry off the top of my head is if the balloon deflates differently, it might not be as obvious that it is deflating from longer ranges, but it sounds like something that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't think that. I mean, I wasn't sure if like this, you know, if I really did respond philosophically or seriously, but yeah, I mean, there is something to be said about, you know, gotta call it gamification and you know, realism. You know, we're always trying to tote that line between, in between, right? So there's some things that obviously are not realistic, not just real. It's not totally real in the game, while there's other things that are pretty real or realistic in the game. It's just really about finding that balance. Because I mean, between like what's fun, what enhances gameplay versus like what looks real and whatnot. So while like a lot of the actual like bullet and flight models, so like physics are really real, collision physics are real, like some things are not real. For example, like the actual individual player physics are not real. Actual human beings don't run that fast and jump, even without stamina, don't jump that high. Some things are just, you don't fall off ship and respawn in 2 seconds. So there's just some things that we had to make for gameplay, for ease of use, or like easy play considerations. I mean, that's really like the philosophical answer, but it's also kind of funny.
And then for the next comment, whose stupid music is that? It's Howard's. He's not in the office. He's kind of stepped out. So he's muting in between talking. So our apologies.
Yeah, just because people like complain about me yapping all the time, because we have like we move, right? So we have like one open box now. So it's harder for me to like just keep talking incessantly. So like there happens to be a cafe like right downstairs in our building. I figured if I'm like good enough with customers over the long haul, like maybe I can ask them to like turn down the volume for me and stuff. So, but otherwise it's kind of like, I don't know what you call like this music, emo, kind of new age kind of stuff in the background.
Emo new age, yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't like the only music I listen to is classical. I only listen to classical now, so I'm not really familiar with music.
iTac, I received your email and submitted my first review for a game after 6 years of being on Steam. Keep up the great work, guys. And I just want to say for that, thank you so much. With the new Steam, it's super important to us to get to 10K, and every review, it helps us out like more than you can imagine. Like,
thanks so much. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we have been really pushing for it. Howard shot me a message saying, hey, we should really push for it, and then I shot Mikko a message, so we're going to keep going down the chain. Hopefully you get to bug someone else saying it'd be super important if you shot us.
I guess, like, before, I feel like, devs or people just didn't really have to care about, like, just getting game to review more, blah, blah, blah. But then, with the new Steam, it's actually... like all the devs are learning that it's really a different ballgame. It's like, a lot of it's, all these little numbers that didn't used to, like, people didn't used to care before. Whether it's actually having a much more significant impact. So thank you guys, really appreciate it. It's awesome.
What about adding a grappling hook to skirmish as a pilot tool replacing the harpoon gun? That won't happen just because players can't directly affect ships, and it's not just because we say so. There's just a lot of logic and stuff behind it as well. We are looking at the harpoon gun. I've seen some players use it really efficiently in some competitive matches, but I definitely agree on its standard day-to-day use. The rangefinder and the harpoon are both tools that are in-game but are not effective, I would say. Kind of thing. So we'll definitely check those out. Can you employ me as your fact checker to test physics correctness of your game? Oh, we could. We just couldn't pay you for it.
There are also a lot of things that I think you'll find. I mean, I don't know, like where to draw that line. Because there are any number of things that that are just kind of fictional. I mean, it's like, we make fun about how we repair servers, right? But in reality, you will hope that we don't like fix our own servers by whacking it with a wrench, But it happens in the game, or so for example, like if you if your gun is on fire, like, you know, only the gun is on fire, you're not on fire, or like, you know, the adjacent area around the ship is not on fire, or the entire ship is not burning. So there's obviously there are a lot of things that isn't terribly realistic. But I mean, you know, like I think I'm gonna get like slammed. You know, some people like Thomas or whoever listening to this, I'm gonna get like, you know, crapped on because, you know, for saying this. But yeah, I think that line is always kind of, it's always, I don't know, it's always hard to like tote that line. I feel like, you know, some stuff we have collision, some stuff we don't have collision, just for to make it easier for players to run around. Yeah, you know, like, so yeah, I mean, it's really hard to draw that line. It's definitively say, okay, you know, for this thing, we're gonna have to make it real. For that thing, we can make it like more fantasy make believe for some other reason, whether it's like, you know, to have better visual feedback or to make things easier to play and whatnot. So it's kind of tough. I mean, we won't be able to make everything realistic, but on the other hand, hopefully, like it's a good balance between the two.
Yeah, this is actually conversations I have with a lot of players, because it's funny because you think about all these kind of factors, but it is, at the core of it, gameplay mechanics, not necessarily realism that we're aiming for here. So naturally you would catch fire if you were jumping flames, but I mean, you know, we have to take that liberty.
True.
So.
Open-top vehicles and guns are pretty dangerous as a combination.
I mean, I think there, I mean, you know, speaks to realism though. Yeah, I mean, when you have a Phoenix claw with chicken foot, it allows you to magically turn the ship faster. That's totally realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like deep rooted in Chinese history, I think.
Is it?
So no. No, I'm just kidding.
Gotcha. All right.
But I mean, yeah, I guess some stuff we kind of take creative liberty. But I mean, I think what's funny is that, like, you know, what's actually funny is that, like, I think when we do that earlier on and establish sort of a premise or a context for everything, like, people have a much easier time accepting that, right? And then later on, if you add, like, you know, a little bit of something here and there, then it becomes like, wait, what? That's not real. That's not really realistic, you know? So I think it's actually really interesting because, like, you know, it's like, if at the onset, you know, we have decided on a set of, you know, contextual premise about, like, oh, what realism is, and actually people are more willing to kind of accept it as a given. It's just a good lesson learned, I think.
Yeah, someone's asking, with the aesthetic style of the faction showing up more obviously in Alliance mode, are we going to see faction-specific cosmetics for our ships? For example, can I get Fjord, Barony, stained glass windows on my Pyramidion, or some clothes from each faction? Well, the clothes for each faction are actually being worked on right now, so yes, definitely. As far as, like, ship themes for, like, the Pyramidion or the Junker that reflect the factions, that sounds awesome.
That does sound
awesome. I don't know if it's happening. I love the Barony style. You know, the stained glass windows, the very, I don't know, Crusader. In my mind, it's very Crusader Knight-esque kind of thing. And I love that, and I'd love to see it on every ship if I could get the theme for it. It definitely depends on, you know, the art bandwidth time, like just how much time they can put into things like that versus making new ships and new guns and new maps and all those things. Question, will the dice for balloons paint the red painting on the Crusader instead of the balloon? Because I feel like the balloon is a little too small to be able to see the difference. We'll definitely check out to see if, for ship cosmetics, how they affect the new ships. We're definitely not at that stage yet, kind of thing, but we'll do our best to make sure people who do buy it and use it are getting the most out of it.
Yeah, Crusader is, it does have a smaller balloon. It's going to be an issue. Like, although the ships that, you know, the new ships, such as the Crusader, the Magnate, and, you know, 4 other ships that we're working on they're meant actually as an unlock. They're meant as part of faction progression. So, you know, you guys are obviously getting to test drive it now because, you know, we want to test the feasibility and the bugginess of the ships and whatnot. But eventually they'll actually be unlocked.
Now that I know that you're reading this, I want more ships Muse. We do too, and he's saying for skirmish mode, we would love more ships for skirmish mode. Our office, we're a small office, just 10 people, and we're going to do more ships and more art assets for for Alliance mode first. I mean,
I'm actually really interested in you guys' opinion about. Obviously, it's kind of conjecture because, you know, they're only in PvE right now. But just for some of you guys like who have flown the ships quite a bit, well, like the question is, whether you guys think it's viable for PvP. We definitely wanted more testing opinions about that, because that's sort of the evaluation process we have to go through every new ship. Is that, well, where does it best fit? I mean, granted that we designed these for PvE because you have basically like a bigger coverage as far as your weapon arc, right? Because there could be ships or enemy ships and planes and whatnot in a lot more angles coming at you in a lot of different angles and at a greater area. So we wanted to know what you guys think about these in PvP, whether they're OP, they're underpowered, just some opinions to start. It would be interesting. So we'll see. I mean, maybe they could be used in PvP. Who knows?
As the obvious show said, the Iron Forker Friday is happening right after this. So in 7 minutes, the Iron Forker Friday starts. You can definitely check it out at Twitch TV/The Obvious Show. We'll be hosting it here, so you don't have to go anywhere, and you'll still get to chat with them and hang out and have a party. Or you can go in game and you can play with them. Also remember, past those 7 minutes, you have an hour. If you have pre-ordered on Humble for Alliance mode and you want to be in the next batch of keys, send an email to feedback@musegames.com. Send a copy of your receipt so I can confirm and we can keep the validity of this. And I'm going to be sending out a batch of keys 2 hours from then. So there will be an hour cutoff point, and I want to make sure I have all of them, kind of thing. We definitely want to get in everyone who's here, everyone who's willing to talk with us and work well, and knows that it's prototype. That's the biggest thing for us, is we're not, throwing random people who's like, I pre-ordered the game and then I got this half-finished game. Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's a prototype kind of thing. So since you people are here, you know what you're getting into. You are definitely available for it.
Yep.
Currently, the Magnate is super OP for skirmish, fast as a goldfish, more firepower than a Paramedian or Spire, depending on the angle. Definitely agree. Actually, that was one of the big things we got feedback-wise, is the Magnate is just too good, which is a great thing to know. Mm-hmm. We want to know that it's super, super powerful and super OP. Kind of thing. With that, though, we are 5 minutes away from the Iron Forker Friday. I guess
I can't use that damn shape. Like, I can never figure out the gun arcs and stuff. Like, where something.
Howard, you are not the only one. I have flown with some people from the office, and I just I love these guys. They're geniuses. I mean, it's my job to make them look good, and it's super easy because they're super smart. But sometimes on ship angles, I want to just be the hull engineer and just not.
Same. Because I've flown myself. I was like, oh man, I'm struggling. Like, especially when I'm demoing press, it's like, check out this new ship. Like some YouTubers were like, interested in checking out new ships. I was flying for them. And we had horrible matches because I can't line up the shots. I can't line up the shots for the entire match. Joe's like, talking, heckling me the whole time. I got super pissed, and I can't just explode like in front of the journalist, right? So I had to kind of take it in. It was like steaming. But like early on with Eugene, for example, flying, and I was like, oh man, did you design this ship? It's like, we had a horrible time. So
I feel the same way about if I don't know the person, I will not fly on their galleon. There are the galleon, there are too many times that people just don't get the angles right, and I want to shoot things. That's why I always fly a Mobula. It's super simple. Point and shoot. Enemy ahead of me, just keep shooting until they die.
Yeah, actually, that's why I find fire. It's a point and shoot. Almost like point and click, point and shoot type of thing.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah, us guys in our lazy ships. We love them. We love our lazy ships. They're super simple, they work, they kill a bunch of things.
Yeah.
I mean, my crew has a good time. I mean, happy to win. I take the credit. Everybody wins.
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess, Howard, is there anything that you want to say in our final 3 minutes? It does seem like the music's quieted down a bit as well, so yay.
Oh yeah, I know. They actually turned it off, which is great.
Maybe because you're sitting there yelling about how terrible it is. Oh, this emo new wave stuff. Really hope no one turns it off.
Oh yeah. Not really. I mean, I guess it's really for us to kind of pick some stuff up, test, and we'll organize another test session fairly soon, and we'll try to get the keys out to some of you guys who backed us on Humble. Yeah, I mean, we'll get ready to go to EGX at the end of the month, so that'll be pretty fun. It'll be tiring, but I think I'm looking forward to it. Mostly just because I don't have to carry a bunch of stuff. They actually have like rigs and stuff set up as part of the show, whatever fee. So I think it'll be good. Other than that, like it's just more like we got a lot more work to do. Working on new guns, actually quite a few new guns. You guys. Oh damn! Started again. But you guys might be able to see 2 new guns by the end of the month. I think. Well, pretty soon anyway. So there'll be new guns. George's actually working on that, so that'll be fun. And there are new maps, and we're looking at another game mode, putting in the progression stuff, all the progression, at least a first pass of the progression stuff, faction, player progression, match progression. That's kind of cool. So it's just like a ton of stuff, all the while like trying to account for all the feedback, such as hit feedback not clear enough, the mode doesn't offer something like, say, Assault doesn't offer enough strategic choices, an enemy, especially in Assault, you're not making as many tactical choices, Squid is OP, like any number of things. We're also trying to adjust.
And with that, we're going to head out for the day. There was one. When is the skirmish update that Eric is working on? Will it be released? I think next week is what we're looking at. I mean, we've got testing coming up tomorrow, so there'll probably be a couple days to make sure all the testing data gets in and acted upon if anything gets spotted. So we don't have a specific date, but I
mean, I don't know if you guys know what the big stuff are, but essentially a first rev of clan, the introductory clan progression stuff. There will be some new player progression stuff that centers on social interaction. There's a new map. There's some bug fixes, a bunch of bug fixes.
Most importantly, I have to interrupt you, Howard, for this. You will be able to press tab, and it won't pull up your mouse and lock the screen.
Yes. As promised, it takes us now it takes us about 9 months for a feature request to make it into the game. Right on schedule.
Yeah, right on schedule, guys. We got this. And with that, the Iron Fork of Friday is starting up, so please get in game or stay here or go to the obvious show to watch it. And playing it. We'll be seeing you guys later. I'll be sending out codes later, and we'll be testing tomorrow. As always, thank you for flying with Guns of Icarus Online. Bye, everybody.